Today I'm going to show you some tips on using the precision carving system. As you're aware, most Arbortech tools are quite large by comparison, and the precision carving system is really much smaller, allowing you to do much finer detail. To use it the first time, I would just take it and plunge it straight down into the wood. Unlike the very large ball gouge that we do, the large one will not go plunge straight down, you have to angle it. This one you can hold it in an upright position and go down. You can use it on any position leaning over to the right like that. I do not recommend leaning over to the left, and that's because when it's rotating, it rotates in that direction. When you lean over in this direction, it's always pulling away from the user, as you can see. But if I was to lean it over this way, it's now rotating this way and it will be coming back towards you, and that'll cause it to jump and do all sorts of nasty things. So you always use it either vertical, you can use it like that, or like that. Now the cutter doing the cutting is this disc here. You can loosen it off when it gets blunt and you can rotate it to a new edge. But when it's cutting like so on that cutting edge and that cutting edge at the back. So when it's travelling in this direction, it'll give you a nice clean cut when you're going across the grain. If I push it straight in and then I try to move it along, it's going to be rotating like this, and the grain can make it want to wander. So you need to be very aware of the grain. The reason you need the side handle is you need to hold it fairly firmly. I'm holding it against my body like this because as I go along, you can see here it's starting to tear here because the cutting edge is starting to pull up. So if I run in this direction with the blade running along the grain, it'll get a nice clean cut in that direction. So here you can see it's got a very clean edge here, but here it's not a clean edge, and that's because if I go in this direction, it lifts out. So as long as you're aware of that, you can get a nice clean cut. So if you want to clean an edge like that there, you come in this direction. So what I recommend is that you simply fit this tool, try a few positions, get used to it, hang on to it nicely, and you'll be surprised how versatile this little tool is. The barrel carver is a very different cutter to the mini ball gouge. It has a flat section on the bottom and two cutters on cutter on either side, straight cutters. Now this is even more susceptible to the grain than the mini ball gouge. However, it has some really nice features, like it will plane at the bottom. I can use it vertically and just move it around. Now you'll find that it will cut on the bottom, but only very quite gently, but it'll give you a nice planing action. So I'll just demonstrate that. So I recommend that you do this first when you use the tool. Just place it down vertically and just move it around, and you'll see that you can do a really nice planing action. This can be very, very useful if you've got to do a deep carving and you want a nice flat section on the bottom. The next thing to try would be to go deeper vertically into the wood. So to go deeper than this, I just angle it slightly and machine away the area. Now the barrel carver is a lot harder than the ball gouge to control. You really need to hang on to it, and you'll very quickly see how it behaves with the different grain. So the grain is running in this direction, so if I come over into this corner, you'll see it's gripping into it and it might want to pull a little bit. and yet you'll get it smooth here and then maybe gripping here. With this tool you want to hang on to it because the cutting edge, the deeper you go, the more grip it gets, especially if it's going against the grain. Hold it firmly, use your body, start with a shallow cuts and get used to moving it around and become aware of the grain. Different woods behave differently, but in most woods you'll be able to get a really good result. I particularly do like the planing action of this tool. There's not a lot to say about the drum sander. It speaks for itself. You can use it vertically to clean up where you've used the barrel carver, so you can go around the edges. It's not affected by the grain. You can put very aggressive little drum sanders on it and use it for shaping. Of course, an important thing to know about the drum sander is that it's a sander and that you need to slow it down. So on your grinder, I recommend down around the 3, and now it won't burn and you'll get a nice cleaning action. If you run it too fast, you will burn the sanding drum and you will probably wear it out quicker as well.